appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy. And from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
This is Paul Feinbaum. That'll do it for me today. Coming up next, The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Your Rocket City Trash Pandas are back for 12 games in 13 days at Toyota Field, starting June 10th through the 22nd. The back-to-back homestands contain 5 giveaway nights, 4 post-game fireworks shows, 2 brand-new team identities, and the in-park debut of the number 57 Trash Pandas race car. Get your tickets for the double homestand now at TrashPandasBaseball.com.
Market volatility isn't slowing down. If you're nearing retirement, now is not the time to wait and see. Every day of uncertainty can put your future at risk. It's time to diversify. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I want you to know you can create certainty, locking in guaranteed income for life. This means predictable, stable cash flow, even in turbulent times. You've worked too hard to leave your retirement to chance. Right now, there are options to receive up to 30% upfront or annual growth of up to 10% for retirement income. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't wait. Call Trajan today at 256-208-9000. That's 256-208-9000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Any examples provided are hypothetical. Annuities are issued with prospectus and sales brochures and should be reviewed carefully before funding as features and benefits vary. DBA in most states as Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
John Abraham here from The Blitz. Look, I love a good party, so why not join me on June 27th at Bobcat of Huntsville as we celebrate their new location on Highway 20 in Madison, right beside Redstone Harley-Davidson. I recently got to check out their massive 13,000 square foot location, and I was amazed. Don't just take my word for it. Come on down to Bobcat of Huntsville and enjoy the day from 10 to 3 p.m. Food, fun, and a whole lot of door prizes will be available, so don't miss out as the Blitz will be live on location June 27th.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of 12 world-famous theme parks, Orlando, Florida. With flights starting as low as just $49, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Orlando. Make all their dreams come true. Book nonstop to Orlando now at flybreeze.com.
You've seen those beautiful epoxy floors in a garage or carport area and have probably wondered, how can I get that done? Well, the answer is Lifetime Epoxy Floors. Lifetime Epoxy Floors is an A-plus rated business with the Better Business Bureau and has been family-owned for over 14 years. They do both residential and commercial applications and get most jobs done in a day. Lifetime Epoxy Floors' motto is, we love what we do, and it shows. Visit LifetimeEpoxyFloors.com to schedule a free estimate today and check them out on Facebook.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
It's still Thursday, right? And this is Thursday?
Last we checked.
Was at Metro Diner this morning, filling in for Jordy Armand. And honestly, my heart's been a little heavy all day long. And I have been in these parts since 2000. And one of the bigger events right out of the gate that I had the pleasure to be a part of was Doug Franz on the play-by-play, and I was on the color for the Tennessee Valley Vipers back in the day, and that group was led by Art Clarkson along with his assistant, Joe Stroud. Now, Joe Stroud, this feels weird to say, was the president of the Birmingham Bulls on the SPHL. Joe passed away yesterday at the age of 53. And to me, of just interacting with Joe, there was a lot between Art and Joe. There was a lot of good cop, bad cop. Art was clearly bad cop. Joe was clearly good cop. I'm going to miss them both dearly. But the 2019 President's Cup final with the Huntsville Havoc taking on the Birmingham Bulls is very special in my heart, even more so right now, because I when we had the games in Pelham, I'm going to say it, Art was sitting next to me, and you could tell Art wasn't 100%. But, I mean, it was good to just have that back and forth and jabbing. I mean, he literally sat right next to me, and I for those of you that have never seen one of my setups, it's not a small setup. I like to spread out. Well, Art likes to cozy up right next. He had his seat right next to the broadcast area. Well, Joe would come by and give Art one of the joys in my mind is Joe coming by and giving Art today's attendance report, which, I mean, that Art was always famous for saying there's no such thing as a sellout. No such thing as a sellout. But if you go back to that Tennessee Valley Viper year, the first one, BBC was packed. I mean, packed for Arena 2 football. And the very first game was at the BJCC with myself and Doug Franz. But sincerely want to Joe's two kids and his wife, much too soon to talk about the passing of Joe Stroud, but a big impact on the sports community here in the state of Alabama. And Joe, gonna miss you severely, and certainly thoughts and prayers to his family down there in Birmingham. But just wanted to start there, and especially if you've been here for a minute, you certainly know about the Tennessee Valley Vipers, and I'm sure you probably know about the Birmingham Bulls if you listen to this radio station. But Joe Stroud passes away at the age of 53. But I just wanted to start with that, of just kind of, hey, thinking about you, Joe, and the news hit me like a ton of bricks last night more than anything. But I cannot help but think that both Joe and Art are once again playing good cop and bad cop right now as we speak. Anyway, a lot to get into, including the U.S. Open getting underway at Oakmont, and Oakmont just looks different. I mean, big time different without all those trees. Also, getting you ready for the College World Series in Omaha that starts tomorrow with Coastal Carolina taking on Arizona. And it may not be the best way to bring in our next guest because of what happened last weekend, but what a fantastic year it was for the Auburn baseball team as Coastal. That Friday night game that turned into a rain delay and probably ended, I think it was after 1 a.m. I know who knows that answer. Coach Gabe Gross is kind enough to join us out of the gate. What time did that game end Saturday morning, Coach?
By that point in time, I didn't even know what was going on except the baseball game. I don't know what time it ended. I know I got home and in bed a little after 2, and what the actual game time ending was is I don't have any idea.
We were obviously rooting hard for you, Coach, but honestly, I was thoroughly impressed with the pitching of. I know it was a quick turnaround, obviously. But the pitching there for Coastal in Game 2, that was something special.
Yeah, young man that started the game, obviously has had a great year. He's been their best pitcher all year long, and just it's not anything just overly special, and I don't mean that in any way derogatory. It's a good fastball, but it's just 4 pitches. He can throw them anywhere at any time. And, as a hitter, it's just when a pitcher makes you defend the full plate and multiple different velocities, hitting gets to be tough. And he did a great job. I think we got a runner on base every inning of that game and couldn't really ever break anything open to do much. And so you tip your hat to the pitching performance of not only their starter, but, they brought a lefty out of the bullpen that had a great ride on his fastball and again, commanded a couple different all-speed pitches and kept us at bay. And I don't think anybody associated with Auburn baseball is quite over it yet. I know I'm not.
Yeah.
Still feel like that, especially really both games, but especially the Friday night game. We had every opportunity in the world to win that ball game and didn't, and Saturday as well. And you tip your hat to Coastal. They're a great baseball team, definitely a pitching staff that will hold their own against anybody in Omaha right now, but it still stings.
Well, what's maybe a big takeaway or two? I had the initial thought of trying to get you on earlier in the week, but I thought it may have been a bit too fresh for you. But is there one or two big takeaways from this season that you'll always remember from this Auburn baseball team, Coach?
It was such an enjoyable group of young men to coach. To watch Ike Irish carry the mantle of being a first-round draft pick, supposed first-round draft pick entering the season, and the pressure that brings. I've walked through that before, but I've seen it around our league. Some guys handle it great. Some guys don't handle it that great, try to do too much, and to watch his season progress and to really become just a fantastic leader, not just, worried about himself, but carrying the mantle for our team, along with several other guys on our team, the Cooper McMurrays and Derek Fabians and Parker Carlson and Ben Shore. I mean, all these older guys that were just awesome leaders. But to do that and really invest himself in his team and his teammates, and to have the year that he had, already named at least one All-American team, certainly solidified himself as a first-round draft pick and will go on into pro ball with the highest possible leverage that he probably could have had. That was very memorable to coach the last time. Guys like Cooper McMurray and Derek Fabian, who spent 3 years with Cooper and just 2 with Fabian, but fantastic young men. Those freshmen that came in, 3 freshmen All-SEC players, a couple freshmen All-American in Freilich and Rembert, and then Bub Terrell, and the relationships that are formed there, and watch those guys get punched in the mouth as the SEC starts and keep working and keep believing in themselves and all hit, not only hit over 300 and hit big time home runs and doubles, but to play great defense and to really buy into all that we're doing. Eric Guevara missed almost his whole freshman year, blew out his ACL, and then pulls a hamstring and keeps fighting, and even got hurt there at the end too. And we missed him sorely in the Super Regionals, but to watch him put together a solid season as well. It was a lot of different things, and I'm missing some things, but it was a great group to coach and to really start in the fall with the determination that last year was going to be an aberration. It was going to be not the norm at all, and that we were going to get right back to where we had been, and then to do that with a chance to go to Omaha. And it still stings that we're not there getting ready to play.
Yeah.
But it was a very enjoyable year to coach a lot of young men that laid it out and got Auburn baseball in a position where we could see it again.
Talking to Coach Gabe Gross right now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. The sweep over LSU certainly stands out to me, Coach. That was to me, one of the high water marks of because of, well, it's been a minute since that's happened.
Yes, it certainly was. And look, LSU, I didn't get to see Arkansas this year. We didn't play them.
Yeah.
We usually play Arkansas every year with the divisions and us being in the West. And this year everything changed and we didn't play them. So I can't speak for them. I would say that the 4 or 5 top arms at LSU, I don't know that anybody is going to be better than that. You look at especially Cade Anderson leading the charge. He's going to be a top end of the first round type draft pick. They got a couple bullpen arms. That Gummit, their twos killing me, evading me. They're 1 and 2. Cade Anderson and my brain's just going bad. But
hang on, I'll look it up for you, Coach.
They're number 2. To be honest with you, I think his stuff is better than Anderson. I think Cade, just the command of those 4 pitches that Cade Anderson throws is unbelievable, and for them to come into Auburn and for us to sweep them, not to mention the offensive production that they put out too. That's that was a special weekend. You don't get sweeps very often, and to get sweeps over that program, I think that opened the eyes of a lot of people across the country to what we were about.
Game 2 of that Auburn series, it was Anthony Ianson. Am I saying that right?
Yes, Ianson. Yeah,
Ianson.
Yeah, just unbelievable stuff. I think if you look at their numbers, very, very similar type numbers. But that 1-2 punch, especially in Omaha with built-in off days, that's going to be tough to beat. It'll be, man, the best game in Omaha, maybe right out the gate with LSU and Arkansas. That is going to be 2 heavyweight prize fighters going at each other.
Well, we are airing that game Saturday night here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. But, I mean, honestly, it's taking a look at who did make it to Omaha. I tell you, maybe my favorite story has got to be Murray State and this run that the Racers have been on, going through the Ole Miss there in Oxford and then Duke. I mean, that's a pretty magical run by a team that's never made it to Omaha.
Yeah, everybody feels great for them except Duke and Ole Miss. They don't feel good about them at all, and I can relate to that. But you do, and as much as, look, if you give me you give me the choice, we're going to take overall talent. There's no doubt, and I think history has proved that more times than not, the overall talent wins. But there's power in a group of young men that are still talented baseball players that have played together, that have sweated together and bled together for 3 to 4 years, and it all coming together, and just there's a camaraderie, there's really a knowledge of how they play and what they're trying to do, all in the same program. And I'm sure they've got some transfers, but you see it obviously in Coastal Carolina, you see it in Murray State, and it just there's still room in our sport, as much as usually the big dogs in the bigger schools are usually the ones represented at the last stage, but there's still room in our sport for teams that do it the right way and play ball the right way and have talent as well, for them to carve out and make their mark.
We had John Cohen on Monday, and of course the former baseball coach as well. But he mentioned how special, even in the losses over the weekend, but in back-to-back weekends, how special of an environment it has become there at Plainsman Park. I was hoping you could speak to that in particular, and really, if you could just give a thought or two on the Auburn fans showing up in a big, big way.
Yeah, when I was playing at Auburn, and this is in 99, 2000, 2001, Plainsman Park and Baum Walker at Arkansas they flip-flopped every year of who was the best facility in baseball and who was second. And since then, there's been an arms race. And, it seemed like almost everybody in the SEC has kind of gone by us. And to see the additions and to have that stadium filled out, to watch the Auburn people fill it up and come to the ballpark 2 or 3 hours before the first pitch and see people sitting in lawn chairs waiting to get in to the stadium. The extra bleachers that our event staff put in, Rhett Hobart, our baseball administrator, worked so hard to create room to try to get every person we could get into that ballpark to create the atmosphere, and it was awesome. The regional was unbelievable. I don't know that there's been a louder moment. The two loudest moments I can recall is Ike hit a hanging, I think, change up out in the regional to really give us some breathing room against NC State the last game, and just when that ball left his bat, I think it was about a 430-foot home run. The eruption from our crowd, and then when Eric Snow hit a home run to tie the game against Coastal in the Friday night game. And it's everywhere. It's not just in the grandstand. It's on top of the monster. We had seats brought in over the hitting facility in right field, the new 984 club, and down the right field line. It was a parking deck. And down the left field line that's back off the field a little bit, there were just people everywhere. And Auburn people are just special. They will support you, and they will continue to support you. They were loud. It made for an environment that was, whether or not we won or lost, it was an intimidating environment to play in, and one that, to have been a part of this program for as long as I have, with a small gap there for my playing career in professional baseball, it was just inspiring to be a part of.
So, Coach, I do need to get some clarification on one thing. Ike Irish was a guest on our morning show, but this was before regionals. And he mentioned a story that you were a part of about going home and forgetting about a certain player who was I don't even have to tell you the rest of the question. So would you like to clarify this story for us, Coach?
There's no need to clarify. I don't know exactly what Ike said, but what you said pretty good enough for me to know it's pretty accurate.
Well, set this up for us, Coach.
Do what?
Set it up for us, Coach.
Well, in the fall, look, two-strike hitting is a big deal in Auburn baseball, and especially at the beginning and through the fall. There's just certain things that we do that are non-negotiable. And so I had made a rule that if you had an at-bat and you fell short of what my non-negotiable was, that at that point in time that, you would run until I got tired of watching you run. And a certain young man did that. And the crazy thing is he's one of my favorite guys that I've ever had play for me. Just awesome young man. Carter Wright was a backup catcher for us, and then really toward the end of last year, hit right in the middle of our lineup a lot of the year. And he fell afoul of the rule and started running, which he wasn't the first nor the only one, but it was late in practice. And as soon as practice was over, I had 2 or 3 guys immediately come right up to me and start asking questions about their at-bats or hey, did I do this right or wrong? And then I don't remember all of it, but it was right there. And then I had some family obligations I knew I had to get to, and just bolted as soon as those questions were asked. And I forgot that he was out there running. And so I got a phone call in my truck as I was leaving the stadium, driving away, and it was like, hey, can Carter Wright stop running? And I tell you what, though, it's one of the reasons I love that young man. And he knew he could have stopped running. He could have come in and called me on his own falls like, "Hey, coach, you left. I was still running. Am I good to stop running?" I mean, we're not just maniacal and evil going around. It's more to make the point. But he was going to do what he was told to do. And
you might have lost that vote the next day. Right?
Do what?
You might have lost that maniacal and evil part the next day if they voted on it, right?
So I called him, he stopped, and I gave him a little while to catch his breath, and then called him and apologized. And but again, thanked him for honoring what I had set forth. And that's the kind of dude he is. And man, he was a tough, hard-nosed kid and a really good baseball player, and so excited for him that toward the end of the year, man, he got to play for us a lot and had pretty good success. But that's not something I'm real proud of, but it is it's one of those things, and I hope that in 10 years and in 20 years when those teams get back together and they see each other, that they'll laugh about and talk about that. It happened. There's no doubt that it happened.
So what exactly is the rule?
Not to get too much into some stuff that we do, but it just we first you have to start a foundation of 2-strike hitting, and we don't come off fastballs with 2 strikes, and we train some different things and to be able to fastball adjust and give us a chance, and especially on a fastball away. And the rule is if you strike out on looking on a fastball away, where I think you came off a fastball, then that's it. That's the one thing you got to do right there early in fall practice is you don't strike out on a fastball, especially not away looking without swinging. And if you're sitting there looking at it and it hits the mitt and it's middle away, you drop your bat and, like I said, I'll look up in a couple innings and running. I'll get you back out there. But it's just a way of really getting their attention that this is something serious. It's a non-negotiable. We're not going to sit there and look at fastballs for strike 3. And usually you only have to shoot a hostage or 2 before they figure that out. And it stops. And I didn't mean to quite do what Carter did, but it definitely had a lasting impact.
So there's some statistics have to be with that, I guess. And is that just common with young players or you know what I'm saying?
Well, most of the guys, when they get to us, and especially this day and age, they've never known anything specific to do with 2 strikes. Maybe some of them choke up, maybe do a little different, but it's a philosophy of mine, and look, it can be debated, and there's some people I'm sure out there that teach it that would teach it differently and think, hey, you got to do this, that, and the other. I mean, it's the best way I've ever found to give you a chance to defend every pitch in a pitcher's arsenal. And like I said, we do a lot of things to train it, to really allow the ball to get to you, to stay in a loaded position, ready to hit, but let the ball travel. But we're only fastball, but we're not trying to pull hook it down the line. We're trying to let it get there. We're trying to think about shooting it the other way and letting let the off-speed pitch, the breaking ball, speed our bat up to the pull side. And so if you're going to do that and then come off the fastball and let them throw a fastball out there for strike 3, it breaks the whole process down. So you can't do it.
How do you teach them to identify a fastball?
Well, it's and there's an expression I've heard at some point in time that there's nothing to being a ball player if you're a ball player. And so some of the things I'm about to say are going to seem like they're almost impossible. But if you've played baseball long enough, you realize there's not. And that is time. And look, it's not perfect. You're going to swing through a slider every once in a while. You're not going to see everything, but by really practicing how to load yourself, how to keep your front side quiet and not pull out, and let the ball get there a little bit longer with 2 strikes. And, it's the 0.04 of a second for a 90-mile-an-hour fastball to travel from the pitcher's hand to the plate. And so when I'm talking about traveling a little farther, I'm talking about a foot and a half from really out in front of the plate to a little further back in the plate. And I don't know what that translates to as far as time, but for every guy who's gone up to the plate thinking they were going to hit a pull side home run, and swung and missed at a slider they didn't see versus the guy who uses the opposite field gap and is able to see and take that slider and get to the 1-0 count instead of the 0-1 count. Those guys know what I'm talking about. And to go up there with 2 strikes, and like I said, it's not something we just tell them to do. We train it, we train it, and we train it. And when you're good at it, if you go back and you watch film of Chris Rembert this year, that young man got so good at it, and he wound up as a true freshman having as many walks as strikeouts.
Wow.
He could take fastballs and shoot them the other way. And if you ever hung him a breaking ball, there's about a 10-foot little square on our scoreboard netting that he hit every one of them to. He hit 10 home runs. I would bet half of those, if not maybe 6 of them, were with 2 strikes on hanging breaking balls that he hit out of the ballpark. And so there's a method to the madness, but it's it's a little bit of a discipline because there's more breaking balls thrown with 2 strikes than there are normally in counts.
Yeah.
And you have to trust the process, and you have to work at it, and you have to get good at it.
Coach, I'm glad I went there with you. I could feel the smile halfway through me asking you about the running punishment, but nonetheless, hey, you've got a lot to smile about on what was a fantastic year there for the Auburn program. Wish you nothing but the best of luck. But I mean, honestly, here moving forward, I guess it's a new day for all of college sports moving forward. And how much in terms of educating yourselves in terms of how things are going to look different in terms of scholarships and everything moving forward, how much have you guys dove into that?
Yeah, it is an ongoing education right now. Man, we could spend an hour-long show with me and most coaches talking about where the state of college athletics rests right now. But let's just say it's an ongoing education. It's almost like Congress, like they had to pass the bill to see what was in it.
Yeah.
And so as this settlement has been signed, which, by the way, we learned was signed in the second inning of Friday night's game, which is a travesty. That's when our world changed, and we found out in the middle of a game at about 10 o'clock at night. Anyway, it's day to day. The rosters, exactly what that means. Our roster limits, exactly what that means. Is there an exempt list for some guys that we would have had to have taken off scholarship to meet the roster limits? Who can be put on that list? Who cannot? And not only us as coaches, but our administrators, our athletic director. There is so many people right now at the conference level, at the university level, that is pouring through all things associated with this settlement and trying to understand exactly what the rules are moving forward. And so it is a weird day to be in college athletics, and we're just trying to figure it out.
I may reach out to you here in a couple of months or something, because I'm still sifting through this entire ruling from Judge Wilkin on Friday night as well. But I genuinely appreciate the time, Coach. I really do. Wish you were in Omaha. I'm sure there's quite a few people listening wishing you were in Omaha, but congratulations on a very successful year, Coach. Thank you for the time.
Guys, I appreciate it. Y'all have a great day. War Eagle.
That is Gabe Gross, Coach Gabe Gross, former Auburn baseball and football player there for the Auburn Tigers. Now they're part of the Auburn baseball program under head coach Butch Thompson. As I'm telling you, that extra inning game on Friday night that included a rain delay and then a very quick turnaround. I believe first pitch for game 2, I want to say it was 1 o'clock. So it was less than 12 hours of a turnaround from the end of game 1 to the start of game 2. But hey, Coastal got the job done in a big way. They were down 1-0 until the 7th inning. They were the home team there in game 2. But nonetheless, hey, congratulations to the Auburn baseball team. That is how we get the party started here on a Thursday. And by the way, the College World Series does crank up tomorrow with Arizona taking on Coastal Carolina, Louisville and Oregon State. Then on Saturday, Murray State and UCLA. And as I mentioned, LSU and Arkansas. We will have that game for you right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone Saturday night slated for a 6 o'clock first pitch. I say slated because we've done these games from Omaha now for a minute, and weather is usually a factor this time of year in Omaha. Let's go ahead and take our first time out. 256-576-4977, the telephone number. Spike McRoy is also going to join us at 6.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Good things must come to an end. That holds true for employee pricing, too. Hey, folks, it's Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford. The last day for employee pricing is going to be July 7th. Up until then, you can buy the new Ford you want and pay what we pay. We've got nearly 150 F-150s to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Had your eye on a Bronco Sport? It's employee priced, and we've got over 60 to choose from. Full-size Bronco, we've got over 40. New shipments of Explorer, Expedition, and Escape have just hit the ground, too. Again, all things must come to an end, and the last day for employee pricing is July 7th. Time to hit it and get it. Employee pricing can save you up to thousands off MSRP. With over 600 Fords to choose from, there's a good chance you'll find exactly what you need. Woody Anderson Ford. It's important to see us before July 7th.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
It's an amazing time in our industry. Things are changing so rapidly. With digital signatures and workflow software, we help our customers work from anywhere. This helps you save time and money and upgrade your technology. Like I said, it's an amazing time to watch our customers grow and succeed.
John Abraham here from The Blitz. Look, I love a good party, so why not join me on June 27th at Bobcat of Huntsville as we celebrate their new location on Highway 20 in Madison, right beside Redstone Harley-Davidson. I recently got to check out their massive 13,000 square foot location, and I was amazed. Don't just take my word for it. Come on down to Bobcat of Huntsville and enjoy the day from 10 to 3 p.m. Food, fun, and a whole lot of door prizes will be available, so don't miss out as the Blitz will be live on location June 27th.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID, and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. And Owens Crossroads, Jefferson's will be opening a new location at 326 Sutton Road very soon. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings. Hampton Cove, and soon in Owens Crossroads.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Back here with you on this Thursday edition of The Drive. It is a day in which I can utter the phrase, Braves are not losing today. The Braves will not lose today. I did watch quite a bit of the Mets-Nationals game this afternoon. Mets had a 4-0 lead going into the 9th inning and won it 4-3 over the Nationals. So bullpen was a bit rocky, but not like the Braves bullpen. Let's just be real. Braves open up a series with the Rockies, the Colorado Rockies, tomorrow. By the way, the shortstop now for the Colorado Rockies, guy named Arcia. Yeah. The Braves dropped him. He was an all-star shortstop.
Didn't they set the record for the least wins at this time ever?
Well, they have since been winning some games. There was only one way to go for the Rockies, but I believe they were winners today. In fact, yes, I'm aware it's Father's Day weekend this weekend. That's MLB. I hope everybody out there is also aware that it's Father's Day weekend this weekend. The Rockies down the San Francisco Giants 8-7. So how about them Colorado Rockies?
Hey, speaking of Father's Day, can I brag on my kid for a minute?
Yes.
Please.
Absolutely.
Please.
I don't know if you guys are aware, there's the Signals Museum here in Huntsville. It's over on Pratt Avenue near one of our sponsors, Liquor Express. It is a museum to broadcasting, radio and television, and their goal is to have like Smithsonian Museum level exhibits. And my kid's taking me there for Father's Day.
Nice.
Not only has this been a career for me, but it's been a passion of mine. Those who know me know I live, eat, breathe, and sleep broadcasting. So I've done a long career of maybe not being a journalist, but helping journalists do their job. And it's been exciting. And I don't know what the hell else I'd do for a living, especially as I stand here in shorts and flip-flops. But, I haven't worn a necktie in years. Ain't nobody getting married or buried, so that's the only time I wear a tie. But it's really exciting. A good friend of mine, Brad Klaskins, some of you guys from WHT know him. He's been part of this effort, and they have, from what I understand, they have they got a television set for one of the stations, but it's like a news set it's period accurate with the cameras and everything. You can walk on the green screen. It is Bob Barron approved, some of the weather stuff.
And where is this, on Pratt?
It's on Pratt. It's over there, like a door or two down from Liquor Express, across from Allied Photocopy, and I think it was like a Hunter Holmes showroom or something like that. But it's supposed to be just fantastic, and I am very excited to go see it. And I have the best kid in the world, and I will not be taking any questions on this.
There is also something I need to announce. Back by popular demand, Cheeseburger Bobbies. They are back on
Fantastic.
Zone Deals. In fact,
that's a zone deal tomorrow.
It's up right now.
Right now.
If you head over to our website, and he likes to highlight Father's Day weekend because he wants dads to enjoy a burger basically on Cheeseburger Bobbies.
As dad, I approve.
So Cheeseburger Bobbies there in Jones Valley. The chicken tenders are fantastic. I can vouch for the chili cheese dogs. There is a chili cheese cheeseburger as well. Also fantastic.
I love everything I'm hearing.
And then there's also desserts as well there at Cheeseburger Bobbies.
I'm logging on to get mine now. I'm going to 977ESPN.com, and I'm going in the upper left corner there where savings never tasted so good.
Yep.
I'm going to click on that and get Cheeseburger Bobbies and hopefully get in there before you guys get them all. That is the easiest way for you guys to double your money. You get like I regularly get the Full Moon Barbecue.
Yes.
And it's $25 and you get $50 worth of gift cards.
Yeah.
And you can download it right there. They scan a QR code. Works at the drive-thru, y'all. So you can get that. We've got a lot of food. I mean, if you've seen this, you know food's important. Also, it's golf, Cherokee Ridge, Gunner's Landing. Got great deals on a twosome and a cart. All you got to do is go to 977ESPN.com. Upper left, savings never tasted so good. Go ahead and bookmark it and get your zone deals.
I do also notice it's getting rather steamy outside already. Welcome to June. And Alabama Flow Trampoline Air Supreme Air Park is also on zone deals.
I know they have air conditioning.
Yes. And then Divergence also on the zone deals as well.
Probably running the John Abraham over there.
More than likely. Anyway, those are the zone deals. It feels like a Carrabba's Italian Grill, or a Bubby's Diner, or a Corlejo's Mexican Grill.
You know,
I mean,
Jeff from the Board Up Radio Network, in the Trash Pandas game last night, he got Bubby's Diner and brought it in last night, and I was never more jealous than sitting here watching him enjoying not only Trash Pandas baseball, but Bubby's Diner, and he got it through his own deal.
There you go. 256-576-4977, the telephone number.
Half price.
That's right.
Make 50% right when you push
And hey,
push go.
And if you call us, it's absolutely free, 256-576-4977.
There you go. Anybody, you watched game 3 of the NBA Finals last night?
No.
Not even 1 minute?
I watched the highlights.
OKC took a lead into the fourth quarter for the second time in this series and has lost both of those. In fact, that they only lost one lead throughout the regular season with a lead going into the fourth quarter. Indiana's already beaten them twice. But I will tell you this, that as young as OKC is, I got a feeling that the Thunder will awake in game 4 and proceed to, but Pacers are halfway there. They're halfway there. We'll see, but I still like OKC to win the series, but we shall see. Tonight is Stanley Cup final. We'll see if the fine folks up there in Edmonton will have a memorable, the Panthers feel like they're pretty sporty in terms of how they play and how they can play more than anything. So there's that. And there's, on an NBA related note, I don't know if you remember the name DeMarcus Cousins.
Yes.
Mobile, Alabama native DeMarcus Cousins.
Got a little trouble.
He is now banned. He is banned from Puerto Rico. He is no longer allowed
like
to
a whole
be,
country banned.
You're banned. So banned from the also the Puerto Rican Professional Basketball League for the rest of the season after an altercation with fans. So DeMarcus Cousins. So that was also there in the news. But anyway, as soon as we are done here this evening, we will have some Trash Panda baseball for you here tonight, and we'll simulcast it, probably joined in progress. But of course, you can catch all Trash Panda baseball games on Talk Radio WZZ, and they had a walk-off last night.
They had a good game last night.
Yeah, a walk-off there against the Blue Wahoos, and it is a 2-week homestand there for the Trash Pandas out there at Toyota Field. Well, it is also major time, and for people that enjoy pain, the U.S. Open is right there in front of us, and right now, J.J. Spawn is your leader in the clubhouse. An opening round of 66, started on the back 9, went through the front 9. Evidently, conditions got worse in the afternoon, but some others on the leaderboard. Brooks Koepka is at 2 under. Jordan Spieth is at 1 under. And I did notice there was a rather large number for someone that we pay close attention to. Let's see here. Where is he? Justin Thomas shot a 6 over 76 in his first round there at. And by the way, they keep flashing up Oakmont. It doesn't look like Oakmont. To me, it's like that friend 116 yards and got within 5 feet. And it's just some of the holes, it does have a Scotland feel, St. Andrews feel. But I know Rory was having his struggles. It started out well, did Rory, but he has been struggling here lately. Let me see if I can't quickly find Rory and where he ended up. The amateur golfer from Auburn and Jackson Cavan is at 2 over, which is not too shabby. But Bryson DeChambeau ended up at 3 over for the day. Scotty Scheffler is at 3 over for the day. My boy Tommy Fleetwood Spike is at 4 over par. Matt Fitzpatrick is at 4 over par. And so is Rory McIlroy. He is also at 4 over par. So is Phil Mickelson. Boy, there's a lot of company at 4 over par as the conditions really tightened up in the afternoon there in Western Pennsylvania. Let's go ahead and take our final time out here in hour number 1. Spike going to join us at the top. Time to squeeze in a call or two on the other side if you'd like.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at Your Home Window Company. When it comes to replacement windows, exterior doors, or new window screens, Your Home Window is the answer anywhere in Huntsville, Athens, Decatur, or Hartselle. Your Home Window windows and doors are made here in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. When replacing those old windows or doors, Your Home Window has the solution for you. In-home estimates are always free and financing is available. Learn more at yourhomewindow.com and see clearly with Your Home Window. Visit yourhomewindow.com to make an appointment today.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer again. Baumhauer's Victory Grill is extremely proud to have recently received numerous awards, including being voted best wings in the state of Alabama. Other awards received include Best All-Around Restaurant, Best American Restaurant, #1 Sports Bar, Best Chef, Best Wings, and Best Dining Experience. Thank you for 43 legendary years, and we look forward to providing you an award-winning dining experience at every visit. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
Tom Abraham back from my friend Ross Roberts at Valley Equipment Rental. It's springtime, so let's get that garden tilled with a tiller from Valley Equipment. And while you're at it, snag a power washer for the house and the driveway. And if you're putting in a sprinkler system, they have the small trencher that you need. And you can even rent a Skag zero-turn mower and much more to get your property in shape. Valley Equipment, not just for the contractor, but the homeowner as well. 2 locations on the North and South Parkway. Valley Equipment Rental. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
Your Fox 54 weather brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
Temperatures drop into the lower 70s as we head into the overnight. Small opportunity for some rain. Scattered showers and thunderstorms more likely through Friday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s, dropping into the lower 70s as we head into the overnight. Scattered showers and thunderstorms once again on Saturday, and again, temperatures climb into the mid 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Fox 54 weather only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Listen to the Rocket City Trash Pandas all season long. Trash Panda Baseball is only on Talk Radio WZZN.
Back here with you on the drive. We'll talk a little more U.S. Open here in about 10 minutes' time. More lawsuits. More lawsuits. Dan Murphy, who deal that was signed by Judge Wilkin Friday night violates, say it with me, Title IX law. Now, the roughly $2.8 billion in negotiations and back damages will sit in the appeals works. Now, again, that's back damages. This is paying players from 2016 to now. This is not having anything to do with players that are about to get checks that will be cut on July 1st.
So that's going to be hard to prove. I'm going to tell you why. Because the settlement's based on market value of the players, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the women's sports will not have that.
I'm following you. Yep.
Yeah. So,
I
don't.
The overwhelming majority of the $2.8 billion, up to 90%, is expected to go to football and men's basketball players, according to the terms of the settlement.
But there's going to be more lawsuits.
Yeah.
So
get ready.
This is, if you're an upcoming player, you like you're a high school senior this year, you missed the boat, right? Ryan Williams made an awesome move.
Yeah.
By going ahead and coming out. Because he would be limited to what he could make unless he go ahead and committed and signed the deal already. Because everything's going to be grandfathered. But, this is just.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Oklahoma has announced how they are divvying up their revenue sharing. This, according to ESPN.com. The athletic director, Joe Castiglione at the University of Oklahoma, said that there will be 6 sports, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sports that will participate in the program's revenue sharing: football, men's and women's basketball, baseball, softball, and women's gymnastics. Those sports have been earmarked by Oklahoma to have revenue sharing at Oklahoma. Now, each individual university can divvy it up however they want to divvy it up. But that is what Oklahoma announced, and it is being reported on as well. So
how they do exactly they're divvying it up?
They did not go into the particulars, but there is a strong belief it's going to be like 75% football, and then 10% men's basketball, and then so on and so forth to cut up that pie smaller and smaller there for the $20.5 million. Back to Oakmont on the other side of this Sports Center timeout, where the U.S. Open has concluded round one, and there is some red numbers. There is some, it's not all pain there at Oakmont, but love to get the thoughts of one Spike McRoy. And Spike is set to join us on the other side of this Sports Center timeout. But while I've got a second, be sure and download our apps. Take us with us wherever you go, be it here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone or Talk Radio, WZZN. Just head over to your Google Marketplace or your Apple Store and take us wherever you go. Hang out with us.
All good things must come to an end. That holds true for employee pricing, too. Hey, folks, it's Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford. The last day for employee pricing is going to be July 7th. Up until then, you can buy the new Ford you want and pay what we pay. We've got nearly 150 F-150s to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Had your eye on a Bronco Sport? It's employee priced, and we've got over 60 to choose from. Full-size Bronco, we've got over 40. New shipments of Explorer, Expedition, and Escape have just hit the ground, too. Again, all things must come to an end, and the last day for employee pricing is July 7th. Time to hit it and get it. Employee pricing can save you up to thousands off MSRP. With over 600 Fords to choose from, there's a good chance you'll find exactly what you need. Woody Anderson Ford. It's important to see us before July 7th.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Here's Sports Center.
I'm Nick DeLuca. Day one of the U.S. Open at Oakmont. Knew it would be tough on the players. Didn't seem to bother J.J. Spawn. Spawn atop the leaderboard with a 4-under 66 one-shot lead over the field. Brooks Koepka posting a 2-under 68 today. Bryson DeChambeau, 3-over 73. Scotty Scheffler wrapping up a 3-over 73 as well. Rory McIlroy, 4-over 74. Spawn had the best round of the day. The best shot of the day belongs to Patrick Reed, sinking the fourth albatross in U.S. Open recorded history from 286 yards out on the par 5 fourth hole. Joins T.C. Chen in 1985, Sean McKeel in 2010 at Pebble Beach, and Nick Watney in 2012. Only players to do that. In the NBA, the Pacers taking a 2-1 series lead with a big win last night. Indiana came into the series as a heavy underdog, but have challenged the Thunder. OKC head coach Mark Daigneault says Indiana has made it tough.
I'm always careful not to discredit the opponent. Like, Indiana had a lot to do with that. They outplayed us last night. So they made the game hard on us. They were part of the reason why we were out of character, and that's what a good opponent does to you on certain nights, and they certainly did it to us last night. So we got to own that, but then we got to let it go and get ready for a game tomorrow.
Daigneault on the NBA on ESPN Radio. Game 4 tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern. Coverage of every NBA Finals game here on ESPN Radio. In the NHL Game 4, the Stanley Cup Final tonight, Panthers looking to take a 3-1 series lead.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Friday, I'll tell you why a Thunder loss in the finals will have a long-lasting impact on their franchise. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Back here with you on The Drive, along with Wes Neighbors. Steve Moulton back here with you. I feel like this is the one time of year that the PGA Tour really tries to inflict pain upon those that play the sport. They want to see plus numbers, not red numbers, up on that leaderboard. But JJ Spawn is your leader after one round, -4. And I can it's almost as if I could see the leaders of the PGA Tour getting into a room and saying, what can we do to make this more difficult coming up tomorrow? Someone who has participated in multiple U.S. Open events is Spike McRoy. In fact, Spike, let's see here. You made the cut, 3 out of 5 times there at the U.S. Open? How are you there, Spike?
I'm doing great, guys. How are y'all?
Doing real well. Tell me what it was like to tee it up at a U.S. Open back in the day for you, sir.
Okay, so first of all, let's be clear. This has nothing to do with the PGA Tour setup. This has everything to do with the United States Golf Association setup.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
They are.
Thank you.
They love to watch you bleed, and cry and moan and throw things. And anyway, it is. I loved it because it stressed hitting the tee shots pretty straight, which if you grew up at Valley Hill Country Club, you don't have a choice but to learn how to hit the ball straight off the tee. And then I could chip and putt pretty well, and that you had to do that well as well. In the U.S. Opens, any golf course, of course, but especially it's just magnified in the U.S. Open. I didn't see the greens. I'm very interested to see how firm they let these greens get.
They look like almost ice skate. I mean,
they're fast.
Yes,
but they're spinning balls back. Shinnecock in what was that, 2002?
I believe that's right.
You couldn't have stopped a Tesla with really good brakes on those greens. It was brutal, really, really brutal. But and they learned a lesson that tournament that it was unfair, and but everybody had to play it, so hey, who cares? It was fun. That last day, it was an absolute blast. I don't think they're going to these greens get there, or they'll have a 7-hour round with that rough, and it's typical to have rough like that, but this rough looks so thick, so the club is just not going through it at all, and the balls are sinking to the bottom, which is normal, but they have I'm just noticing, looking around, off the fairway and rough, it's dead. It looks like that it looks sort of Scottish, that spring, but everything else, it just looks immaculate. The shape of the golf course just looks fantastic. The greens look fantastic, and I was sitting here trying to see how many. So there were 13 people under. Well,
let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You're right, 13 under par.
But so they're still finishing up, though. So
yeah, there's a couple still out there.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my! Well,
oh yeah, there's quite a few. It looks like closer to double digits out there.
Yeah, Neargard Peterson is through 14 and 3 under. So we could have a different leader when we wake up in the morning.
That's true. Yeah, very true. I mean, Shinnecock, by the way, was 2004. I did want to let you know that. But from the course itself, Oakmont looks so different without trees to me.
No doubt. I got to play there back in 2002. Just in a we were playing the 84 lumber tournament, and we helicoptered over to do an outing, and I mean, there were trees. Yeah, there were trees everywhere. It looks nothing like what I saw.
Why did they do that, Spike? That didn't make any sense to me.
Well, if they're having trouble growing grass, it does. But I wouldn't.
That was the only place back in the day where I almost saw some relief from golfers, like, oh, thank goodness it's below a tree because at least there's not as much grass there.
Well, that's true. That's true. It will not. Well, technically, it won't be as thick. I just played over in. I guess we got to figure out. I have mostly fescue in my yard. I got to figure out what they're doing at Tupelo Country Club. I played the member guest over there, and it was immaculate. But under the trees, it's Bermuda everywhere and Zoysia too. But under the trees, just this blanket of pure, U.S. Open rough fescue. I got to figure out what they're doing. Anyway, but Steve, sorry, I segued, but you asked about. I was fortunate enough to play in 5 U.S. Opens. I missed the first one, which was at Congressional. I missed that cut there. That was Ernie Els winning.
That's right.
And I'm my least favorite of the 5 that I played was the one in Chicago. I can't remember Olympia Field. That wasn't. I mean, it was. I think Furyk won there, but that was good, but it wasn't like tremendously difficult, like Shinnecock or Bethpage or Congressional. But anyway, it's hard nonetheless. But such a demand on hitting the ball and play off the tee, versus the PGA Tour setups where they're selling a product, right?
Yeah,
and they people don't go out to watch golf to watch the best players in the world make bogeys and doubles. They want to see birdies and eagles and albatrosses and hole-in-ones. And, the demand on the long ball is and they just don't have a lot of rough. So they can bomb it 350 yards. Doesn't matter if they're, pristinely targeted in the middle of the fairway, and these 18-yard fairways are now 40 yards wide, and then you can blow it over into the rough and still have a shot at the green because you're flipping a wedge in. You're not playing 300-yard par threes either. So,
I'd like to believe that you saw it went pretty viral earlier in the week of someone on the course putting from over 100 yards away. There,
123 yards.
Yeah,
he putted it and almost made it.
He did. Yeah, he got within 5 feet of the hole. And then they panned over to the guy next to him, about maybe 15 yards from him, and it was that look. I thought he was about to put his wedge back in the bag and go, "Give me that putter! Give me that putter!" I say all that to say, have you ever attempted a putt from over 100 yards away from the hole?
Not intentionally. I've hit some shots from 120 that look like I putted it.
Do you have some thoughts of how much of the Open have you watched today, Spike? Or are you going to tell on yourself right here?
No. I did not. I had it on when I had a busy day today. So I had it on. I didn't get to see a ton. I guess my question is, I was watching we have direct TV at the office, and which is okay unless it starts raining. But they have the 4 different channels or whatnot. And when the telecast went off, I couldn't find the main telecast anywhere. I don't know. Was it on USA?
It's on the USA Network. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's also getting streamed on Peacock, and you need that secret decoder ring that we got back in the day and in the cereal boxes to figure out where's on what.
Well, I'll know better. Thank you. I'll know better tomorrow when I watch it, because this is one of the tournaments that Thursday. Okay, it's fun, but watching them come down the cut line on Friday afternoon, and then of course Sunday when it's just hopefully baked out a little bit. The greens are a little firmer.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're any faster. I don't know if they can get any faster, but they can definitely get firmer. And just watching them cry. And
Peterson just dropped a shot. He's back to 2 under, not at 3 under, by the way. But I do wonder what kind of alterations, maybe watering down some certain areas. It does feel like that pain is part of the process here.
Yeah, they're not. The USJ is not satanic, but they want at the end of the day, at the end of the week, they want even par to be a great score.
Yeah,
and that's their ultimate goal when the U.S. Open, and they pretty much do a great job of accomplishing that. They don't make it unfair, like all these prima donnas are complaining, because they're so used to being able to blow it all over the place and hit wedges into the greens. Well, now you don't have that, and it's the most challenging of the tournaments in the world by far. I haven't played every tournament in the world, but this is I just love watching. I love watching all the majors, but the U.S. Open and the British Open are two of my favorites.
Yeah, so they're special. We mentioned it earlier in the conversation as we're talking to Spike McRoy right now. 13 under par. 13 players are under par. So I got a feeling that that they want that number tomorrow to decrease in a big way tomorrow.
Well, they'll be. When the leader's 4 under by himself,
yeah,
these are the best players in the world. When the leader is 4 under by himself and there's only 1 3 under, it's even par. I'll take even par and sit in the clubhouse right now.
I bet you would. It's
and the other thing we haven't really mentioned is, and we really can't control it. I'm sure Trump has a plan of trying to control it, but is the weather. You can't, if they get some rain, I haven't even looked at the forecast, but that could change everything. And they can throw darts, but if it doesn't rain, I'm hoping it gets a little firm.
This from the National Weather Service and the greater Pittsburgh area. Let's see here. Friday, PM thunderstorms, 38% chance of rain. Saturday, 76% chance of rain all day long on Saturday. And then Sunday, scattered thunderstorms in the morning, clearing up in the afternoon.
Maybe finishing on Monday, depending on the severity of Saturday.
Yeah. 76%. I mean, it's rain/thunder is in the forecast.
Well, that could be hit and miss, or I don't know.
Well, the good news is that this is the longest part in terms of daylight. This is the longest time where you can squeeze in more players to play more rounds now more than any time.
Right. That is true. And I was, let's see, usually it's 156 is a full field this time of year, and that's what they've got. So.
Yeah. And that'll be cut pretty good tomorrow evening heading into the weekend.
Yeah, I think there's 60 in ties, 55 in ties. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But
it really listen, is it just people that are in charge of the tournament making their best guess late, but when that number is released, is that your understanding of how the cut line is created?
Oh no, it's determined beforehand. There's a specific. It's typically because they're not going to play off for they're just going to have a 55 or 60 in ties, and those players make the cut.
Gotcha.
But it's pretty consistent. I just can't remember what it is.
All good.
But it's not 70. I know that.
Or else it sounds like you're speaking from very close experience there.
I unfortunately, I had to watch very closely. Other than Shinnecock, I did not have to watch closely at Shinnecock, but I made it on the number at Bethpage, and I think I was like 10 over. I think 10 over was the tough look back, but I think it was 10 over, 9 or 10 over.
Mm.
And then I was Pinehurst. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, no. Pinehurst was another. Pinehurst and Shinnecock, I wasn't. But I was sick of watching the computer at Bethpage because it was, and I think somebody bogeyed the last hole to let the rest of us in. So,
wow.
But
Man.
anyway, I didn't win.
Is there at least how much of this is it to for the average golfer, the average hacker out there to look at this and go, well, I can do that. I can do that.
Nobody out there has experience trying to hit this ball out of the rough that they're trying to hit up.
Yeah, that's the idiotic statement, right? I mean, the best in the world are playing. Yeah.
No, these guys swing at 140 miles an hour, and they can't hit, and they're pulling wedges just to hope to get it back out in the fairway and keep it from going over into the other side of the over the fairway into the other side in the rough. So it's there very few of them are hitting shots. I watched for maybe an hour today, and I saw more layups out of the rough than I've probably ever seen in any tournament. But it's the smart. You have to there because it's just brutal. You want to, and those guys that are trying goofy stuff. They said it well. I guess Tarico today, but the bogeys are okay in the U.S. Open. You can't make doubles though.
Yeah,
you got to stay away from doubles. Not just physically on your scorecard, but mentally. That's just so draining because you know how scarce birdies are out there. Just
My apologies on the idiotic question.
No, that's not idiotic. It's because it's just like, oh, I'm watching, Talladega. Oh man, I can drive. No problem. Well, by God, go get in one and let me tell you tell me how you feel after 4 laps.
Yeah.
And they're driving for 4 hours. Forget that. You can't imagine it.
I'm gonna tell you, I think Talladega is safer than a lot of Huntsville on 565 now.
Oh, I'm with you there, Wes.
Well, knowing that the leader's 4 under right now, what do you think the winning number will be Sunday afternoon?
Man, 4 under. 4 under with no bogey.
Yeah.
Did I see that right?
Let me double check from JJ. No bogeys.
That's impressive right there.
Yeah. He started back 9 and went front 9, and it looked like, especially early on, at least how the course was playing, those on the back 9 were peppering that leaderboard awfully well, and then the front 9 was just kind of the reality check.
Yeah. And I know the USGA hates it for people to start on 10, but with the 156 players, you have to.
Yeah.
Without starting tee times at 5 a.m. in the morning. But,
he was at 4 under on the turn, by the way. Spike.
Wow.
And when par. Yeah, 9 pars in a row on the front 9.
I wonder how many. Well, I'm I love statistics, but how many people have 9 or plus bars in a row this week? But
it ain't many.
Okay, sorry. You asked about the winning score.
Yes.
Boy.
Weather
I'm gonna
looks like
say
it
one
could be
over.
a factor.
Yeah, because it's going to get soft. Okay, I'm gonna say 1 over. I'm gonna stick with 1 over, because when that rough gets wet and that ball gets wet, that club face gets wet, and you're trying to hit it in a 15 to 18 yard gap from 300 yards. Yeah, no. All right. Here's the other thing is, how many people do we see that just make the cut in a PGA Tour event and go on to win? It's quite. It doesn't happen every week, but it happens probably once a year at least. And if you got, I just, after tomorrow, I think it's impossible.
A lot being made about how Rory's playing here lately. After the career slam, and you saw. I mean, we all saw how emotional he was after the playoff win that there at Augusta National. I mean, is there anything that I saw him hit out of the lettuce a couple of times, and he went from one side of the lettuce to the other side. But it happens to the best of them.
Yeah. I mean, 4 over, as bad as he's played the last couple of weeks, it's not terrible.
No.
I mean, he was. I was like, wow. When I pulled it up this morning, wow, he's 200 through 5 or whatever it was.
Yeah. He's another one that started on the back 9 as well, by the way.
Yeah. That's so. Yeah. Man, I understand the feeling. I don't understand the feeling at his level, but I understand the feeling at my level. I wasn't a world beater, but I had my own goals, right? And once you accomplish those goals, I don't know. I can't see into his mind, but man, that's tough. That's tough to get back and like you and me and probably half the other people in the country that pay attention to golf are like, look out, he could win 10 more because he's got the monkey off his back. Well,
yeah,
sometimes that works against you as well mentally. So
plus he admitted of shooting an 81 at Oakmont, I believe, last week, and everybody was just like, ooh, 81.
Well, there
was an 84 shot today. Justin Hicks was 14 over par.
14 people that did that today.
Yeah.
So, and these are good. You don't just pay your $250 to get in the U.S. Open and tee it up on the first tee. These guys have played some incredible golf to get there.
Yeah.
So they're good.
Well, we always appreciate the time you give us, Spike, and it's always fun to talk a little U.S. Open. Enjoy your non-day of work tomorrow, because I know what you're doing.
Oh, man. Well, I don't know about that, but it will be on in the background.
Thank you, Spike.
All right, thanks, guys. Roll Tide, West.
Roll Tide, my friend.
See, who says I don't book Alabama folks? Let's go ahead and take our what? Let's go ahead and take our first time out. Final call for phone calls on the other side at 256-576-4977.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
All good things must come to an end. That holds true for employee pricing too. Hey folks, it's Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford. The last day for employee pricing is going to be July 7th. Up until then, you can buy the new Ford you want and pay what we pay. We've got nearly 150 F-150s to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Had your eye on a Bronco Sport? It's employee priced, and we've got over 60 to choose from. Full-size Bronco, we've got over 40. New shipments of Explorer, Expedition, and Escape have just hit the ground, too. Again, all things must come to an end, and the last day for employee pricing is July 7th. Time to hit it and get it. Employee pricing can save you up to thousands off MSRP. With over 600 Fords to choose from, there's a good chance you'll find exactly what you need. Woody Anderson Ford. It's important to see us before July 7th.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
You need a lawyer and pick up the phone. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. When you call for a lawyer, where does that phone ring? My phone rings in my office.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. My phone rings in my office too.
So does mine. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. And when you've been hurt and need help, we're the ones who take your call.
The Lackey Law Firm, the Lackey Law Family, 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says because try losing one of those little games, and if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beams likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
The Atlanta Braves.
Cranks one high in the air to deep left field. That's going to fly away. It's a 3-run homer. And Sean Murphy off the injured list and onto the stat page with a 3-run homer off Zach Wheeler.
All season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, we have chronicled the likes of a kangaroo and a zebra. Got another one for you.
Oh, I can't wait.
I mean, this is fantastic. So evidently a bear broke into a backyard of a Florida neighborhood. This is the state of Florida. I'm not sure what kind of bear. Let's listen in for this late breaking report.
Well, who needs a resort when you've got a backyard hot tub? In Punta Gorda, a black bear broke into a backyard, starting living his best life here, made himself right at home, took a soak in the hot tub, and then he took the cushions off the patio furniture and laid down for like a 6-hour nap under the lanai.
6-hour nap.
6 hours, man. He was just chilling. Landscaper spotted him, called for help. Neighbors say the furry trespasser was super chill, though.
And so the bear decided to go up into the tree located next to the hot tub of this Punta Gorda area. And so wildlife officials lured the bear with donuts.
Well, yeah, because they didn't have a picnic basket.
Yeah. If you're up in a tree, that's how we get you down.
That's how Wes gets me to work at least 2 days a week.
So there you go. We've got a zebra in Tennessee, a kangaroo in Auburn, and a bear in Florida.
I've seen the video of that. It's much watched. The bear sitting up in the like he's a trained bear, sitting up in the hot tub. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Did you see the raccoon story?
No.
There's a man in Kentucky, I forget where, but he was refused service at a bar. So he came back and released a raccoon into the bar.
Wow.
It went about as well as expected.
So a trash panda.
A trash panda.
Yeah.
In a dive bar.
You don't want to mess with a cornered trash panda.
No, you don't.
No.
Yeah, they look cute, but they don't act cute.
I even give Sprocket a white berth when I'm at the game.
On this date, let's hear 1991, the Chicago Bulls defeating the Los Angeles Lakers for the NBA Finals Championship. The NBA's final MVP that year was some guy by the name of Michael Jordan, who scored 30 points. And his teammate, Scottie Pippen, in that game, he actually scored 32 in that win.
Michael Jordan, the baseball player?
Yes, Michael Jordan, the baseball player.
I saw him play baseball.
I imagine quite a few people.
Yes.
In this state.
It was a lot funner watching baseball.
But did you watch Bo Jackson?
Yeah, I tackled Bo Jackson one time.
Yeah. I bet that's a story.
No, not really.
Was that before or so?
It's an all-star game.
Oh, I was about to say.
Yeah, we won 3-0.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, it was raining.
Just a safety away from the old 3-2 Tuberville game there in Starkville.
Yeah, and they had listen. Their backfield was Tommy Agee, Bo Jackson, Allen Evans, and the quarterback was Patrick Washington.
Wow,
we shut them out. But on that defense was a lot of really good players. A lot better than me for sure.
On this date in 1990, Ricky Henderson becomes the second person to steal 900 bases for his career. Ricky B. Ricky. Ricky was so much fun to watch as well. But that's a little bit of this date in sports history. And also, Hank Aaron's first home run was hit in Milwaukee since 1965, back in 1975, because, of course, he ended his career as a Milwaukee Brewer and not an Atlanta Brave. Anyway, that is going to wrap us up. In fact, the next voice you hear will be a Carey, as Josh Carey with the play-by-play call. You can hear all of the games over on Talk Radio WZZM, but we've got ourselves an extra helping of Trash Panda Baseball here tonight on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Again, head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. Click on the big zone deals and enjoy some half-off zone deals, including Cheeseburger Bobby's is now open for business just in time for Father's Day. We will talk to you down the road. So long, everybody.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
One other time, that was back on May the 17th. He took the loss in that ball game, but it was one of his better performances. As the 1-0, a fastball right through there, going to even up at a ball and a strike in that ball game. He gave up 3 runs through the first 3 innings, but then settled down after that. Wound up going 6 1/3, allowing 3 runs, 1 earned on 7 hits and striking out 8.